Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the Flesheater Courts update for Warcry. This video is sponsored by CMO Games, more on that later. The Flesheater Courts march on the Gnarlwood with free rules for Warcry. The Flesheater Courts are swarming from their crumbling keeps with renewed purpose, for the Summer King has returned. Nowhere in the mortal realms is safe, not even the Gnarlwood. The Royal Beastslayers have already sent their finest trackers into the ravening ruin, and they are now joined by the rest of the deluded cohort with a fresh rules update from the Warcry team. Alright, so obviously Flesheater Courts got a bunch of new models, so now it's cool that Games Workshop coming out right away with some new rules as well. The Bringers of Death Compendium has been updated to include a selection of new Flesheater Courts miniatures, including the abhorrent Gore Warden, Morag Knights, and Crypt Guard. You can download it below. So we'll take a look at that download link in just a second, and we'll have it down in the description as well. With the Marrow Scroll Heralds spreading the good word of Usharan far and wide, the delusion is more potent than ever. So while the Royal Hunt Quad and Baffling Parlay reactions remain in the mix, the other fighter abilities have been changed. Universal access to the Hungry Talons double brings Manic Ghoulish Clawing, dealing d6 damage to any model within 6 who makes a disengage action until the end of the battle round. So we see ability, Flesheater Courts, reaction, Royal Bodyguard. So that's available to anybody with the Bulwark. A fighter can make this reaction with a friendly fighter with the hero ruin mark within 3 of them is targeted by an attack action. After the damage is totaled and before it's allocated, if it's enough for that fighter to be taken down, allocate those damage points, one at a time, to this fighter instead. If the fighter is taken down, allocate any remaining damage points to that friendly hero. So pretty cool. It gives you the ability to essentially sacrifice one of your lessers to save a hero. With a toughness 3 and respectable complement of strength 3 attacks dealing 2 damage and 3 on the critical hits, Crypt Guard will become a staple, especially as they can use Royal Bodyguard reaction to throw themselves between fatal attacks and nearby hero. So that's actually really nice and could definitely be useful, especially if some of their other stuff still heals them. Alright, so we see the Crypt Guard with Cursed Blade, 80 points, obviously has the Bulwark keyword. Movement 5, toughness 4, and 10 wounds. And then we see range 1, 3 attacks, 3 strength, and 2-3. So they're pretty good. I would say pretty balanced as well. They're not like over the top, but they're definitely worth taking. Okay, so I think this was a mistake here because they were talking about the other ability, the Royal Bodyguard reaction listed. And then here they have the Royal Bodyguard reaction listed. So I think what they meant to do was put the universal access to the Hungry Talons right here for the double, which is a d6 damage to any model within 6 who makes a disengage action until the end of the battle round. But I think they accidentally just put the same card twice. So Warhammer community, as always, dropping the ball. They may create bodyguards for the Marrow Scroll Heralds who offer the King's Entreaty, triple, a bone full of infected marrow to fighters within 3. If they accept this gift, they have a chance of being taken down each time they act for the rest of the battle, but if they refuse, they are unable to use any abilities. A truly monstrous choice. Okay, so that sounds crazy. So Flesheater Courts, triple King's Entreaty. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 3 of this fighter. That enemy fighter player must accept or reject the infected bone. If they accept it until the end of the battle, after that fighter's activation, roll a dice. On a 5-up, that fighter is taken down. If they reject it until the end of the battle, that fighter cannot use abilities. Wow, so they have a 33% chance to die every time they're activated, or they can't use abilities straight up. So if you do this to a monster, you basically turn off their abilities, because a monster technically activates like 3 times per turn. So that would mean that technically like each turn your monster would have like a 99% chance roughly of dying. So that is pretty crazy. Now you have to get within 3, you have to have a triple, and obviously you have to do it with a certain fighter. So it's not like that crazy, but it's pretty neat. Obviously, you're just going to refuse it, but that means it completely turns off abilities. The Pal of Chivalric Delusion provides plenty of opportunity for confounding strategies, but sometimes you just need to move fast and hit hard. Morag Knights are especially good at this, as their Night Shrieker mounts can leap and sprint a healthy 10 inches, and their gouging claws and riders' relentless hacking add up to 3 strength 3 attacks that go up to 4 on critical hits. Locking these ghoulish creatures down in combat is extremely difficult as the Predatory Pounce triple provides a bonus disengage action and subsequent move action, making them as elusive as they are deadly. So the Morag Knights are amazing models. Their mount and fly, 220 points, move 10, 5 toughness, 20 wounds. So 2 range, 3 attacks, 4 strength, and 3/4 damage. So pretty decent data sheet. And then their ability is a triple Predatory Pounce. This fighter can make a bonus disengage action, then this fighter can make a bonus move action. So you could potentially like fight, disengage, move, or move, fight, disengage, move again. So definitely pretty cool. Or you could potentially move into combat, then do a free disengage, and then move again. So you could literally move all the way from one side of the board to the other, as long as you tag a fighter in between there. Now, I'm not sure how useful that is, but pretty neat nonetheless. So here we have the updated Bringers of Death downloads here. So let's give it a scroll down and take a look. So it is 19 pages, so that's still the full death sheet here. And unfortunately, they didn't bother to actually update it, because we see the Terrorgeist and Zombie Dragon still have the old points on here. So that is definitely unfortunate. They could have taken a second with Photoshop and just fixed these. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. All right, and then we see the questing galleons. So we'll just take a look at the new ones. So we have the Abhorrent Cardinal, 130 points, 18 wounds, move 5, 4 toughness, 1 range, 3 attacks, strength 3, 2/3 damage. Very cool model also. And then we see the Abhorrent Gore Warden, 225 points, move 10, toughness 3, 20 wounds, range 1, 4 attacks, strength 4, 2/4. And then we have the Champion of Morbeg, 295 points, move 10, toughness 5, 25 wounds, range 2, 4 attacks, 4 strength, 3/4. And then we have the Crypt Captain, 135 points, 1 range, 4 attacks, strength 3, 2/4, 5 move, 4 toughness, and 10 wounds. And then we have the Crypt Captain with Cursed Halberd, range 2, 3 attacks, strength 4, 2/4, 140 points, and he's move 5, 4 toughness, and 10 wounds. The Marrow Scroll Herald, 155 points, move 5, toughness 4, 18 wounds, range 2, 3 attacks, strength 4, and 2/4. The Royal Decapitator, 175 points, move 5, toughness 4, 18 wounds, 2 range, 2 attacks, strength 5, and 4/5. Then we have a Crypt Guard with Cursed Halberd and Crypt Guard with Cursed Blade, 80 and 85 points respectively, 1 range, 3 attacks, 3 strength, 2/3, and 2 range, 3 attacks, 3 strength, 2/3, and they're both move 5, toughness 4, 10 wounds. So you're really just paying 5 points for the extra range, which is pretty cool. And last but not least, we have the Morag Knights, 220 points, move 10, toughness 5, 20 wounds, 2 range, 3 attacks, 4 strength, and 3/4. I'll have to go through and actually compare the old abilities with the new ones and see. But very nice, good on Games Workshop for updating those so quickly. Normally Warcry doesn't get a ton of love like right away, but it seems like lately they've been pretty good about getting those rules out. So let me know if you're excited for this. I haven't played a Death Warband in a while, but it's definitely cool to have a lot more options, some updates. And then also, anytime you get new fighters with a bunch of different points values, it really changes up like how you can actually select your warband. Because the weird thing about Warcry is sometimes it's difficult to use up all 1,000 of your points nicely. Certain fighters and certain points increments make it so that if you take a certain fighter, you end up with like 30 points left over. And it can be difficult at times to kind of fill that out. So now with some cool options, some new units, should see an extra little bit of life in the Death Warband. No pun intended. So let me know what you think of the updates. Let me know if anybody has any questions or comments, if this is one of your primary warbands. Obviously, I love the Flesheater Courts models, so perfect opportunity to get to use some without building the full army. Obviously, I'm not as worried about it because I can't wait to paint Usharan, and unfortunately, no rules for him in Warcry, or should I say fortunately. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.